Hey going guys, Nathan here and welcome to my YouTube channel, The Daily Nate, where in this video what we're going to be talking about is an emergency fund and the importance of it. Hopefully by the end of this video, you will basically be able to start saving for your own emergency fund, whether it might be only a simple $1,000 or whether you start saving up months worth of your expenses. So basically, we're going to go straight into it. I want to tell you guys what an emergency fund is. So basically, what an emergency fund is pretty much the money that you set aside to cover any urgent or unexpected costs, whether that might be car repairs or any types of expensive medical bills that come up unexpectedly. So the emergency fund provides that financial safety net so that you don't actually have to borrow that money if something happens to you or whether it happens to someone that you know. So what makes this emergency fund so important, especially during these times? What I find is that by actually having an emergency fund in your back pocket, in a savings account, just resting there, is that it can actually help to cover any unexpected expenses. So you might be driving and suddenly your car broke down. That's basically an unexpected expense that you no longer have to fork out any random money for or go into debt for. So that's another thing that actually helps out, is that by having the emergency fund, you can actually prevent yourself from going into any further debt than you may already have been. And there's a lot of peace of mind and mental clarity that comes through with actually saving an emergency fund, because you know that you no longer have to actually fork out or use your credit card for any unexpected things. And we know that 100% they definitely happened. So I find that when it comes to these funds, there's an added level of confidence that actually you can bring to yourself. Whether you are unsure whether you have your job over these next coming months, whether you may be stood down, having that fund there is actually going to make you feel a lot more confident in yourself that you can provide, whether it may be just for you or whether you have a family as well. Now, it also helps if you were looking to start that business that you wanted all this time. Finally, knowing that you actually have a buffer of a few months, whether it might be just 1 or 6, you know that you can actually push ahead with that business, whether it may be on the late nights. It's always got that level of confidence that you can add to yourself to actually push forward any projects, or whether it's just a level of buffer. So when it comes down to it, it's a type of fund that is really important, whether you may be 18 and just starting your financial journey, or even 50 or 60 and trying to weather the storm. So even for myself, I actually started building up an emergency fund after reading The Barefoot Investor, and that's a cheeky plug, so definitely read it guys, really great book. So when I started building it up, I built it up to about $3,000 and left it in the savings account, just gathering interest. But being my dumb self, I thought that I could gain a much higher return by investing it in the stock market. So the long story short is that I lost half that money by putting it in at the wrong time and taking it out at the wrong time. Two very things that you hope don't happen. But what that actually taught me was that it actually helped me learn a lesson that shows how important having that fund is and how much confidence it can actually bring to you going forward. So I lost money to learn that lesson, but here I am now with a much larger emergency fund. I'm definitely not going to touch it, especially during these turbulent times, seeing the stock market go down so hard. I know that I'm not going to use that money, because it actually, just having it there is actually much more beneficial to my mental clarity, to my confidence in myself moving forward during these times, knowing that I'm actually able to further provide for myself regardless of what happens. So when it comes down to it, I want to talk to you on how you can actually build it. So if you were starting from zero, let's just say you were 18, started from zero, and you had no idea of how to build it. So I recommend, and in following the book, actually just starting off with saving $1,000, because that $1,000 is going to give you so much positive impact than you may think. And even just leaving it there is really important when it comes to that. So the very first thing is, as always, just sell things around your home. There is no one that can be super minimalistic that has anything that they don't need to sell. Everything's useful. So everyone hoards junk, and that junk can be worthy and it can be useful to someone else. So what you can do is look for things that you no longer use or you no longer have used for about a year, and just chuck it up on eBay, chuck it up on Gumtree, and just sell it. you're better off making some sort of money that can be put to something good and useful rather than just letting it go to waste. Now, another thing that can actually be done is to be putting in, just automatically putting a percentage of your income while it's there and just sending it to another savings account, and purposely make another savings account. Don't just chuck it into another one, but make one that's purposely for the fund so that you have an idea exactly about how much you're saving over time, and it will give you that extra boost that you're looking for. So whether it might be 10%, 5%, it adds up over time. And whether you're only looking to build it within the 1 month, whether you're looking to build it in 1 year, there's certain ranges in which you can use it for. So lastly, and this one's probably one of the most impactful ones, is starting to make cuts in your daily budgets and your weekly budgets. And once again, taking it and using that money, pushing it directly to the emergency fund. So for example, if you decided you went out for dinner 4 or 5 times a week and you decided to cut back to 3 times a week, that's 2 dinners that you've been out where that money that you were using on the dinner can be put directly into your emergency fund. And I guarantee that that will actually build up your fund so much faster than you actually think so, because if you actually look into it, it's quite a lot of money. Now, realistically, it's not hard to build a fund. There's a part that actually is hard to keep the fund in the short term, but as you actually build your education based on it and realize the importance behind it, you will basically have an effect to yourself, pretty much a positive effect to yourself that enables you to just continually grow it, from $1,000 to 1 month's worth of your expenses, 3 months worth of your expenses, until you may be weathering a large storm where you may need 1 year of expenses, which could actually come closer to your retirement age. So realistically, when it comes to building it, all you really have to do, if you're in no rush, chuck $20 a week into a savings account, and by the end of a year, you will have $1,040 in your emergency fund, and that sets you up for sure. So I basically want to challenge every single person watching this here, save up $1,000 for your emergency fund, because that's going to give you that added level of confidence in yourself and help you weather any storms, especially during these times of the pandemic. So essentially, if you enjoy these topics, I want to continue talking about these bits and pieces, things that are really true and dear to my heart, and things that I know have helped me throughout this journey. So definitely, if you watch this and you enjoyed it, want to see more, subscribe to the channel and give this one a like. YouTube loves that kind of stuff, and I'd really appreciate it. All good. I'll see you in the next one.